Awesome. Welcome, welcome, everybody. I think we're going to go ahead and start rolling and people can jump in as we get going. Hello, everybody. Welcome and thank you for joining us today. In today's webinar, we're going to be showing you two of Speak4's latest tools, Send Plus and message scheduling. And these tools work hand in hand to help you double the impact of your digital grassroots advocacy. You're going to hear from two of our partners about their experiences with Send Plus and message scheduling, and you're also going to see a live demo of these features in action. We will have a Q&A at the end of our session, so feel free to drop questions in the Q&A function throughout the webinar, or drop them in the chat and we'll answer them at the end of the webinar. First, I'm going to hand things over to Speak4 CEO, Joe Mansour, to talk a little bit about why we developed Send Plus and message scheduling. Joe?
Thanks, Em. So one of our core principles at Speak4 is innovation. We're always trying to push the envelope, build new features, not just be satisfied with what's working before. Another sort of related piece of that is when we think about features that we're building, there's two sort of core problems or sort of challenges or areas that we focus on as we're trying to build out advocacy solutions, I think, for our clients and partners. The first is quantity. How do you make it as easy as possible for folks to take action to increase the volume, the quantity of engagement that people can use to take action? We built Send Plus to sort of address that kind of aspect of it, doubling your impact by having folks sort of send a follow-up message, 2 to 7 days after they sent their initial message. So sort of the quantity of communication, more people taking action, sort of making it as frictionless as possible to increase the volume of communication. On the second aspect, we always are thinking about quality. How do you increase the quality of engagement so that you're not just getting a lot of people to take action, but it's a higher quality piece? So features like Storyteller that allows people to share video testimonial, that's about quality. The new feature that we also rolled out that we're going to show you is called a message scheduler, which allows you to schedule and sort of extend the life of your advocacy campaign where someone takes action. You can get a bunch of folks to take action at one time, and then instead of dumping it all at once, you can extend it out, stretch out it, or hold messages to be delivered at a later date, such as before a key, hearing, vote, bill markup, et cetera. And we think that by doing that, you sort of make the advocacy more impactful, you increase the quality of that advocacy effort. So the two principles, the principles of kind of quantity and quality had two sides to the same coin in your advocacy effort. We're trying to do both, and we believe that these two features that we're going to show, Send Plus, which allows you to schedule or send a follow-up message with a single click, and we'll show that. Hannah Williams will just kind of show it to you. It's easy to see it, and we'll talk about it, a case study. That's quantity, message scheduling, quality. So there you go. That's the intro. Em, I hand it back to you.
Thank you so much, Joe. I love that you emphasized those two principles, and I cannot wait to introduce Hannah Williams, who some of you might know from our sales team. She is going to show us these tools in motion. Hannah, I'm going to give you the reins. Take us away.
Hey guys, I'll just share my screen here really fast. Awesome. So Send Plus, as we just talked about, is one of our newest features. And this feature allows advocates to opt into sending a follow-up message to lawmakers after a set number of days. And this is a really great tool, like Joe talked about, if you would like to double your advocate's impact and drive more messages in just one click. I encourage everyone to use Send Plus on all of your Speak4 landing pages, simply because it is really effective and really simple, as is just an enabling of a button. We have already seen a huge impact in this feature, as it's just been a couple months since we have just rolled it out. One of our current clients, which we will get into in a bit, they launched a nationwide effort where we have seen a 22% increase in messages sent just by enabling Send Plus. This just is an example of how Speak4 is dedicated to getting a return from all of your advocates, compared to a lot of legacy vendors who are not invested any time or energy into maximizing your advocate's value. So the other feature, as we have also discussed, is release or message scheduling. You can find it here on your campaign dashboard. So this feature ultimately gives you control over when and how messages are sent to lawmakers, as Joe talked about, that quality aspect of it. So if you're looking to create a more organic approach and have your messages released to lawmakers over time, keeping that steady drumbeat into their inboxes, you can use our release cap. So you just input the number of messages that you would like to be released per day to lawmakers. And all of those messages will be released until every single one has been sent. But say you have a big key vote, a big decision, or you just would like to have all of your messages populate lawmakers' inboxes on a certain day, you can do this using our hold valve. So you set the hold valve, you choose the date that you would like all of your messages released. And on September 1st, all of your messages will be released to lawmakers. So again, these are our two newest features. We're super excited about them. Happy to answer any questions at the end of the webinar. And back to you.
Thank you so much, Hannah. Next, we're going to focus on the first feature that Hannah just showed us. We're going to focus on Send Plus. To speak more about how Send Plus can double your impact on your next digital grassroots advocacy effort, we have another Hannah with an H. One of our partners, Hannah Anderson, is a manager at Plus Communications. Hannah, can you talk to us a little bit about Send Plus?
Of course. Thanks, Em. So I use Speak4 for one of my longer term clients. They originally partnered with Speak4 because their organization's goal is to take all of their advocates' voices directly to lawmakers in Washington, D.C., and just more specifically Congress. Because of our partnership so far, we've been able to send over 1 million letters to Congress, which has been awesome. So when Send Plus launched, we were able to test out the new tool on one of our ongoing campaigns. In 1 week without using Send Plus, we sent 13,000 letters to Congress. And in 1 week with Send Plus, we sent over 19,000 letters. So as Hannah Williams previously mentioned, this led to a 22% more messages using Send Plus on the exact same campaign. It did not require any additional work for the client or the advocate, and it was really easy to incorporate. We started using this across the board on all of our campaigns and have continued to see that quantity of message continue to get even bigger, and have been able to use Speak4 for not only advocacy and fundraising, but are just able to take advantage of all the tools that Speak4 introduces. So it's been great and we really enjoy it. Em, back to you.
We love a happy camper. Thank you so much, Hannah. Congratulations on the 1 million message landmark and the 22% increase in letters. We are so glad that you're finding Speak4 both easy to use and effective. Next up, we're going to hear from Carly Mulvihill. She's a senior director at Plus, who has spearheaded the use of the second tool that we're looking at, message scheduling, on one of her accounts. Carly?
Thank you. Message scheduling has been a real game changer for a number of our projects, specifically those that focus on smaller localities and state legislatures. In a lot of these projects, we've found that a really steady, sustained message progression has been the best way to get the results that we want. In particular, the clients have had really strong opinions about how many messages they want going in per day, and Speak4's message customization scheduling feature has allowed us to meet those goals from our clients and to ensure that not only are we getting the amount of messages in every single day that we want and hitting our goals, but that we're able to really bracket around those high impact events that Joe mentioned, hearings, votes, anything that is really going to make the biggest difference for a client. The message customization feature in terms of scheduling has really allowed us to get across the finish line. So I'm happy to answer more questions about how we've implemented it, but Em, I'll turn it back over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Carly. All right, folks, you have heard from us. You've seen the features. You've heard from our partners. Now we'd like to open this up and hear from you. What questions do you have for us about Send Plus, message scheduling, the platform in general? I see a couple of questions coming through. Let me just open up the Q&A.
And hey, one thing I'm going to ask is if I do want to go back to some of the screen sharing. I'm calling an audible on Emir and be like, Joe, why are you doing this? But there are a few other pieces of both Send Plus and message scheduling that I want Hannah to show a little bit. I want to talk to a couple of pieces because I think it's important. So we can answer a few questions. I think those are good. But before we sort of conclude, I do want to go back and just drill a little bit deeper on both the features, if that's okay.
For sure. So we do have a feature. I'll throw one question at you, and then maybe we can dive deep and see if we can't knock out some other questions with a little bit of a deeper dive. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
Awesome. So this first question, it's coming from someone that said, we are already a Speak4 partner. How can we get access to these tools?
Yeah. So just email help@speak4.co. So they're pro tools. And we just need to enable access to them in your account. So if you don't have access, or you want to have access, just email help@, and we'll get you set up right away.
Awesome. Hope that helped. Okay, Hannah, I'm going to let you drive because I trust your screen sharing skills more than me. I think you should still be host. So I will let you go for it.
So Hannah, pull up your screen. I want to show the landing page builder again, and then an actual landing page with Send Plus enabled. So show this live landing page. We've showed Send Plus. Show the actual landing page now once it's built. Thank you. And so once Send Plus is enabled, it shows up on your landing page button, and the activist has the option. They can send the 2 messages, or they can use Send Plus, right? And we've kind of made it more prominent and bigger. There's a nice little tab. If you hover over what is Send Plus, and click it, it explains what it is for an advocate, right? Easily done there. Go back to the page builder itself, if you don't mind, Hannah, just edit it. So just a couple of notes on this feature. What we're offering here is we call it a message topper. If you can just edit it, it allows you to set the little note that goes at the top of the previous message. You can change it, you can customize it, and then you can set the day, the follow-up above it. So from 2 to 7 days. We've sort of capped it at that. Okay. I just wanted to sort of hit those points a little bit more. I also want to go back to the message scheduler if we can, and just hit a couple of other points if that's okay.
Give me a second.
Cool. And so one, and I think Hannah touched on this, but I want to just hit this a little bit more because I think it's really important. You can kind of trickle these messages out, as we said, and so that is the sort of the hold valve and the release cap. You can say, let's say I get 100 messages in all at once, put the hold valve at 50%, if you don't mind. Right? It's sort of like turning a spigot on a faucet. Say you get a 50% of the message in, you deliver 50 of them immediately, and you're holding 50 back, and you can do other stuff with them. The release cap feature is exactly what Hannah said earlier, allows you to schedule it out. And the hold all messages until that's sort of like you set that date, and then at that date, you start to release the messages. So it's a few different options to control the cadence, the tone, and the tenor of your campaign, which we think is really important. And I think just the other point, we haven't set a limit on how long you can hold the messages for. I think practically there are certain limits you might consider, but we haven't set a specific limit there this time, because part of it is we're interested to see how folks handle it, what they do with the feature. So thanks, Hannah, for humoring me. I just wanted to dive a little bit deeper on those 2 pieces.
No problem.
Awesome. Thanks, y'all. Okay, so we did get a question that just popped into the Q&A. Someone asks, can the second message be different than the first message in for Send Plus?
So you have so the way we've conceived it is you have the message topper. So it's like a message follow-up. So you can customize the topper. It's designed to be like a sentence or so. And so that is different. That is unique. It's not the exact same, but it's meant to be like a follow-up or a bump on the initial message. So that's the idea. So there is some customization there, but as we're currently conceiving, it's not intended as a totally different message. We may get there in the future, but this is meant to be like just like a follow-up, like a check-in on it. Kind of give that extra move.
Awesome. Awesome. Hopefully that answered your question. Okay, got another question. Can you explain the hold valve function one more time?
Yeah. I think the way I think about it is the spigot on a faucet. So if you have, or like the spigot on, a water faucet. And so you can either say the faucet is all the way on, all the water is gushing out. In this case, the message is in water. You send them all of them as they come in, they go. Or you could turn the valve to halfway closed. Some of it's coming out, some of it's not. That being the water, right? There's also like a timer function that you can put on the faucet. I don't know if you've ever seen a timer, you're watering your grass, and you can say, turn on at 7 p.m. at night, turn off later. So you can set timers on it. You can control the amount of flow. So it's kind of giving you different ways to control the volume of flow through your advocacy funnel, and then the timing, the cadence. When does it start? When does it stop? We can pull it back up and go a little bit deeper. We can also do a follow-up one-on-one and kind of walk you through the demo a little bit more. I'll admit freely, it's a new feature. No one else offers this in this space. And so, folks have ideas on simpler ways and analogies. I'd love to hear them. And we're working through it, frankly, with everyone.
Some people water their grass. We water our grassroots. So hopefully that helped out. Okay, looks like we have one more question. Can you give us a look at features coming up?
Yeah. So we're closing out our final pipeline from the last quarter and getting started on our Q3 pipeline. We're already into Q3, time flies. We're going to be rolling out pretty soon local targeting for 100 plus cities. It'll be built right into the platform where you'll be able to select city council members for key cities around the country and target them directly from Speak For. You can already do it through custom targeting, but we're just going to make it a little bit easier, and it'll be geo-targeted based on city council districts where applicable. So that's one. We're also adding an AI integration, like every service everywhere in the world. It's going to be, I think we're going to sort of crawl before we run on this front. So it'll be kind of prompt built out where it'll allow you to kind of help guide the creation of a landing page content and sort of give you recommendations there. We're not currently planning for it to be at this part sort of doing the letter generation, because there are some kind of legal and policy requirements that we're trying to be cognizant of about limiting sort of AI generated messages to lawmakers. So we are going to have an AI integration. We're excited about that. So that'll be coming out as well. Looking further ahead, there is some cool work that we're going to start doing around a patch through calling integration. So you can do calls as part of Speak For as well. So stay tuned for that.
An ambitious roadmap coming up for your friends here at Speak For. We did get two more questions that kind of slid under the radar just now. Joe, I'm going to give you this one first. Do you think lawmakers will think the follow-up message is redundant? What was our thinking?
Yeah. We think by putting an extra nudge on it, it gives that extra urgency. Like, I do think there is a possible risk, but I think part of it as well is, showing urgency and enthusiasm around the issue. So we haven't seen any negative feedback in the past couple of months that's been engaged with, and we've seen some pretty robust activity. I think there's always going to be someone that complains, but I think part of the part of the point of some of this advocacy is to make sure lawmakers realize the urgency and the seriousness with which these advocates take this issue. So I think having them pay attention and notice it, and even if they complain a little bit, that's not a bad thing.
Yep, going back to what you said earlier, like quantity and quality, right? You gotta have both. Next question, can you give some helpful tips on how to drive advocates to your page?
Yeah. Look, I think there's a couple of things. One, having an existing list, if that's available, that you can email or text. Text is tremendous, is great. Paid advertising, of course. Whether you're using, advertising on social media channels like Facebook, we have a great Facebook lead form integration that makes it really easy to drive advocates via Facebook, connect them, sort of have they fill out their information all within Facebook, lowers the cost per action, increases your number of conversions, and then we connect with Facebook and pass the data straight through to them. So all those features, all those channels, email, text, you can also do some great stuff, where you could do it like in-person events where you can have like a QR code, scan it, have it pull up a Speak For form and people can take action, fill in their information. There's a lot of good opportunities with that around, using that with storyteller mode where you collect video submissions. So I think all of those are options, but tapping your list, email, texting them is huge. Paid advertising, Facebook lead forms is a great tool. We have a robust integration there. And then leveraging all kinds of events, in-person events, et cetera. Those are some ideas. What am I forgetting? I'm sure for sure there's some other things to add.
No, I mean, I think that you hit kind of the greatest hits there. I would also do a quick plug. Speak For recently released a summer advocacy report to give you some ideas as to how to sort of drive advocacy this summer, especially as lawmakers head to recess. So encourage you to check that out as well. That'll have some more creative ideas. But Joe, I think you crushed it with the best practices.
Yeah, we should send folks a link to the guide, the summer advocacy guide. That's a good flag.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The guide that you wrote, that one, Em?
Shameless plug for myself. Of course. Well, listen, y'all, we are nothing if not efficient here at Speak For. A whole 35 minutes of your afternoon back to enjoy coffee. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you are ready to double the impact of your next campaign and check out these tools, please reach out to Hannah and Rebecca at Speak For. I just dropped their emails in the chat. They'll be ready to roll and answer any questions that you have. Again, thank you for joining us today, and we hope the rest of your day is as seamless as possible. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.